the Wiki Garden, a new organic gardening system created right here in Hawaii. Now essentially what this is a 3-foot mesh log. Inside there's organic growing media and also an irrigation drip tube for watering. All you do is set it up to a garden hose. Now to get started and install your own Wiki Garden, you have to have 3 things: adequate sunlight, drainage, and a garden hose hookup. For this demonstration, we'll hook up the battery timer first. Let's thread that onto the water hose faucet here. And then onto our battery timer, that's where we install the Wiki hose kit. Again, this helps regulate water pressure and filters the water. And at the end of the Wiki hose kit, thread on the hose. Now we're ready to install the Wiki Garden itself. We've chosen to do it on rocks, but you can do it on any surface. The rocks aren't a requirement. The drip irrigation tube is on the top, and it's also a good idea to give it a good pat, so it's a nice shape when you lay it on the ground. Alright, the other thing you'll need to know is the female end is what you hook up to the hose. On this end there's a male end which you can later connect to other Wiki Gardens to expand your garden. When it comes to planting your garden, there are 2 options. There are the seeds or starter plants. But before you plant, let's go ahead and flush out the garden just to make sure that no debris got inside. Now to flush it out, we're going to want to take the cap off of the male end. Then all we do after we have it off is turn on the garden hose for about 15 seconds or so. Alright, let's get the cap back on now. We know there's no debris in there, so we should be ready to get started planting. To plant your Wiki Garden, all you need are your scissors. There's a spacing guide depending on what you want to plant. For this demonstration, we're going to use salad greens, and you can put about 8 of these in each Wiki Garden. Now all you need to do is make a small incision in the Wiki Grow mesh. Alright, now that we have the hole here, we just want to make sure this spacing is big enough to be able to get our starter plant inside. And the mesh is pretty easy to work with. Just make a nice size hole here. Now we're ready to plant the field greens. Of course, you want to be delicate getting these out of the pot here. Alright. Now we just want to make sure we get this good and inside this hole here. And inside the soil, the growing medium. That looks pretty good. Alright, we're done planting out our field greens based on the recommendation to stagger it 8 in 1 sock. Now let's expand our garden. Connect it end to end with our next Wiki Garden. Thread it in. You should know that you can actually run 100 Wiki Gardens off of 1 garden hose. We'll get started with 2. In this section, we're going to start with seeds. We'll do 4 different varieties. We have some pepper, jalapeno, chili pepper, we like the hot stuff, and some basil. And for this planting, you're going to make a smaller incision with the scissors. When you're cutting into the Wiki Garden, it helps to pull the mesh away. Then we just make a small incision, big enough to get the seeds inside. We're going to plant the basil seeds here. And for these, it says you want it about 1/4 of an inch under. There we go. Alright, we're done planting the seeds, but we want to build our garden even bigger. One thing about the Wiki Garden, it is modular, so you can move it at any time. Say the sunlight's better over there, no problem, you can move it. We've shifted our Wiki Gardens. Now we want to add on rows. For that, we have a row fitting. Just thread that into the female end here and attach it to the hose. Then add Wiki Gardens and build it out. Row 2. Now we decide we want to add a 3rd row. No problem. Keep going with another row fitting. Row 3 down, we're going to go on to row 4. Same thing, just thread it in to the row fitting. We have the 4 rows set up. Now we want to do a 90-degree turn. For that, there's a corner fitting. All you do, unthread the cap here and hook it on. This gives you some options so you can work with the space you have. Our corner fitting is installed. All we do is hook up the additional Wiki Garden. Same thing, just thread it in. And for this setup, we have two. So let's go ahead and keep doing that. Same, threaded end to end. That's really all there is to it. You see we installed 10 wikis here in just a few minutes. That's a key difference between this and a conventional garden. Another thing, no weeding, and the watering. If you install the battery timer, you don't even have to think about it. Also, you'll cut down on your grocery bill and grow your own fresh food right in your backyard. To find out more information, go to thewikigarden.com.